See, I know that I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but even the business decision behind this game just makes me look like Einstein. I Look, I'm not saying the game is bad. This is not a game review. Trust me, I learned my lesson from the last one. So we're not even going to step foot in that territory. What I'm saying is, what the hell happened between the course of the Crew, the original one, and the Crew 2? It seems to me like they took the easy way out, dare I even say the safe way out, by going the Forza Horizon route, which I don't really mind. It's not a bad idea. I do enjoy the boats and the planes. That does give it a leg up. But it just doesn't really make any sense coming from the original game. If you played the first game, you're going to know what I'm talking about. See, the first game had a clear identity. It was a story-driven game with a gritty tone, unique for a racing title out at that time. It wasn't just about driving. It was about avenging your brother's death, infiltrating a gang, and taking down a criminal network. I'll admit, it wasn't a 10 out of 10. I'd say more like a 9 out of 10, but that's not the point here. The point is, it was different. In a time of arcade-style racing games where everybody seemed to be doing the same thing in a bid to be better, the Crew pushed boundaries. It combined an open-world map with a story-driven experience, which was very unconventional at the time. It most definitely was not the safe way to go, for one very obvious reason. The two elements they were trying to mix are conflicting, at least when you think about it. How do you give the player an open-world map where they're free to do whatever they want, where they can interact and explore as they please, and yet still have them follow the structured linear progressive story? I don't really remember how they did it. It's been, 10 plus years? But goddamn was it beautiful to be a part of. And now we fast forward X amount of years to the Crew 2, and part of what made the first game so good is now gone. It's magically gone. There's no more revenge story. There's no more gritty crime drama that was keeping us at the edge of our seats. There's not even really a mention of a story anymore besides the occasional faction leader interaction, but it's not like I skipped that cutscene anyways. Instead, we get to be influencers. We're chasing followers for social media. Again, that's not really a bad idea. To me, it's just the safe way to go. It takes everything that made the first game unique and throws it away in what seems to be an effort to not take a risk anymore. Which leads me right to my fundamental issue. Why, as a game franchise, would you pivot so hard to a generic game concept instead of building on what you already made in the first game? They've already done most of the heavy lifting in the first game. I mean, we talked about this. They made a unique open-world narrative-based game. All they had to do was pick up where we left off with Alex and the rest of the characters and deliver us a second game. But instead, they hit reset and went the opposite way and ended up making something that felt generic and safe to them. And to us. I mean, I'm not the only one who shares this sentiment. I'm going to show you guys a screenshot that I found out in the wild. In the end, it just ends up feeling like a Forza Horizon copy. I go as far as to name it Forza Horizon Ubisoft Edition. Because again, you're just really racing for fame and notoriety, which, let's be honest, every other racing game out today seems to be doing that. And I just find myself asking, what's the point? The Crew now has no way to stand out against its competition. You could argue that by adding boats and planes, it's unique again, but there's no story. It's just, you're just using them for more followers, so what's the point? I'd rather go play a better racing game, like Forza Horizon. It's hard being a fan of this franchise. I know they only made 2 games, but man, the first one made me a fan for life. When I heard they were making a Crew 2, I couldn't wait. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to hear what was going to happen to Alex and what adventure we would be going on next. And as soon as I downloaded it and played the first mission, and I found out there was no more mention of Alex and we got to be influencers, I uninstalled it almost immediately. I don't think I've ever uninstalled a game that quick in my life. And the only reason why I'm making this video, besides to complain how they butchered my beautiful franchise, and I love to complain, you're going to find that out real quick, was to get my money's worth out of it. As we look to wrap this up, I just want to reinstate, I am not calling this a bad video game. I hope you don't get that narrative from me. The mechanics are solid, the visuals are impressive, the map has bundles of things to do, and I love the variety of vehicles, how they added the boats and planes. But, and here comes the dastardly but, as a fan of the first Crew, this just doesn't feel like the same franchise. It's like they built an entirely different game and slapped the Crew name on it just to cash in on us existing fans. Which ends up making one big letdown of a sequel. I'm going to end it the way I started my first game review. It's just a shame.